is extremely important to understand natural cognition, natural cognitive foundation, natural cognitive system, which is actually about creation of knowledge and not analyzing information, primarily because the artificial intelligence has been developed based on the modern system of cognition, in which input is given from outside and all kinds of computational use is made to understand what things is. So basically what you see is that the same kind of method has been used both in school and to teach machines. Input from outside, store the information, analyze information, produce new information from that. But since they have failed in producing truly intelligent machines, the Western educational institutions have studying children, because they found that children are able to immediately understand things with very little information, very little input. But they are not studying the taught people who have been schooled. Actually, they are studying children before they are schooled, which means these two are two different systems. Otherwise, they could study human, adult who is an intelligent from MIT, somebody like that, can be studied to produce artificial. That's not what is happening. They are clearly studying children, because children have a very different, untaught children, they have a very different system to understand the world and make it into understanding. So, if artificial intelligence is going to take over all the functions that modern people have been doing, who are actually cognitively damaged because they have been, into a system of computation, into a system of analysis, reasoning, you must clearly shift into exploring what is the natural way of understanding the world, which is actually about creation of knowledge, which is also about observation, which is about spontaneous response. Spontaneity is the fundamental difference between modern minds and the traditional minds. Modernity is completely trapped in certainty, into analysis, into predictions, because they have made in a certain manner. Whereas tradition is not at all like that. Indigenous cognition is nothing like that, which is rooted in observation and spontaneity. So, even for this reason, I think it is extremely important to understand what is to be truly human being. A true human being, which, see, if you look at the modern terminologies, you will find that they have started using a word called lifelong learner. Suddenly they have discovered a term called lifelong learner, which means that you continue to read more and more books, continue to take more and more degree. But actually, if you look into the life of an indigenous person, or indigenous cognition, it is about lifelong learning. It is never about conclusions. It is about constantly being present, constantly being out of the box. That very terminology, out of the box, again, it's an afterthought of modern minds. Because we are about box only, whole modernity is in the box. So they have to invent a word called out of the box. Whereas if you look at the indigenous communities, they were never in the box. So all this, things actually point out to the fact that there is something fundamentally wrong with the modern way of understanding, modern way of seeing the world. In fact, what I say is that modern people have worldview and indigenous people have worldview, because they are about the world. This is about the world. That is why if you really want to address the threat of AI, one has to truly reclaim the spontaneous, playful, intuitive nature of what is to be human, and bring emotion and feeling as the basis, which has been now completely taken out of the Western paradigm. There is no place in emotion and feeling and all that in the modern context.